There has always been oppression of the solar researcher. We can look at the lifetime of Galileo and the persecution that he faced from the church. We can look at Alexander Chivhevksy, who lived in Russia, who published his observations of the connection between sunspots and wars back in 1918, 1920. And moving forward in the future, he became well known for his studies, and he was put into a gulag. He was put into a camp. Then, of course, there was the great late Buryl Payne. Buryl Payne is believed to have helped invent the granola bar. I'm sure maybe a few people did that. He was known as a scientist of sorts. I believe he had a PhD. And I have a strong suspicion that despite the fact that he wrote many books, that he was basically ignored in his final years of life. I got a chance to interview him in 2009. He had a stroke prior to that. Thus, he had a speech impediment, and I didn't even really understand everything that he was saying to me, nor have I read all of his books. But he made an impact on me just from one particular article that he wrote back in 2008, and then that helped send me on my way. So I don't think that he lived a happy life in the end. He felt really ignored, and he was considered to be a scientist without a country, ignored by the New Age community, ignored by the paranormal communities. He wasn't into conspiratorial content, but I'm sure that they would have ignored him. So let me tell you what I think is going on. Whether it's my mother going, nobody knows anything about the sun, and then my father actually saying the same thing to me, while he would have his own theories about changes in the Earth's core. He would have his own theories and interests in changes in the Earth's core, along with other things that are right up my alley that I've seen him post on social media, but he won't talk to his son about his son's book. In fact, he won't even acknowledge the fact that I wrote a book about the connection between the sun and wars. So what we're really dealing with, right, is an evil spirit that exists within a whole lot of humans, that is programmed to look at certain humans, for whatever reason, we could speculate on that too, right, like they are worthless, like they are a loser, capital L-O-S-E-R, rather than the ultimate winner or victor or healer or helper. And both my first name and last name both relate to helping, ironically. And I'm helping the human species by seeing the trends of the solar cycles, right? And so what we're really dealing with right now is the dark side of humanity, right? There's something that overshadows the hive mind of humanity. Now, you may not agree with this. You may choose to unsubscribe, but that's going to be on you, because you're going to be losing out. You're going to be missing out. You're not going to be hearing about a great deal of valuable information if you choose to do that. But if you choose to do that, it's because something seems to actually be controlling people to keep them inside of a box and away from healing knowledge that can help them connect the dots for themselves, right? We're actually dealing with an evil within the collective of hive mind that doesn't want people to connect the dots, that they are connected to the sun, that the sun is connected to them, that the sun influences Earth. And that's what's really incredible about these modern humans. They acknowledge that the sun provides life. They acknowledge to a certain degree that during the summer it's warmer. They acknowledge to a certain degree that when it's warmer outside, people might be outside, thus there might be more crime. That's a limited understanding of the solar impact, right? So if they're not able to understand the growing of other things, including movements to war, right? And clearly there's cause and effect. What are we dealing with? Is it really an intelligence issue? Is it really a programming issue? Or is it a hypnosis issue? Is it a sign that many human beings right now, regardless of religion, regardless of race, are under some type of psychological control where they fail to see the obvious? Because if they were to make that connection, it would then lead to other connections, right? So basically, it's not doom and gloom to look at how we're affected by the solar flares It's a form of spirituality. And what we have with evil people is they make up accusations towards people because of, something controlling them or something that's dysfunctional within their own consciousness, and they'll gaslight somebody to shut down that person's attempt to heal them and to help them. And that's all I've ever tried to do between what I'm doing and your species. Not only you as an individual, but all of your people. Through the years and years in which I've talked to 5 million of you, at least, what I can see from my Google statistics, not to mention other times in which I've reached people on the radio or through MySpace or Google Video, even when I've reached people with various things, not just this truth, but also the truth that there's something coming with China and Russia, and that I was able to talk about it way back when. There's something about the people in this world, and not just white people, but my father also, where they're hypnotized, right, by like some sort of an implanted thought that you have no value, or that I have no value, that they can learn nothing. And what we're really dealing with are the signs of the times. And you really come across this big time with people in the educational field. I'll see people leave the newsletter from the educational field, from Sufism, from also the therapist community. And all of those demographics could learn something about the solar flare impact over human consciousness. They can also learn something and feel something new by being exposed to my podcasts and the energy that I bring to the table. Okay? And what it is my energy is powered up from these solar flares. Okay? And ultimately, we're dealing with a world that is so fucked up in the head that it doesn't believe that certain people can have any value. So I can look at Stefan Burns, who's tall and white, and see how that plays a role in the algorithm or AI, suggesting his videos to others, next to other videos seeing him as the one who's worth something, whereas I am not, And I'll be reminded of that as I'll see him talk about the sun and wars and be more well-received with women in live chat asking him if he's single, right? Wanting to know if he is single. Of course, people don't ask me that because I don't look the part. So unfortunately, in this world right now that has a lust problem, right? There's a lot of lust going on in our society that people don't acknowledge. Women are very also trapped in lust, right? Which is why if they deal with a guy who's like another, who's short, who's not popular, who doesn't have a lot of hits and clicks because they're programmed by social media, who might seem to be broke and not have his own place, they will completely overlook the truth of what I'm saying because I don't fit the part. Now, when I talk about the connection with human trafficking and solar flares, and there's so many examples of violence against women, Amber Alerts, and then evil men in our society that like to rape, that likes to human traffic, and then, the whole Epstein revelation thing coming out during Solar Maximum is just more validation to me, right? But people aren't figuring it out, that there's a connection. And they rather view somebody as crazy, as worthless, as a pseudoscientist loser, than somebody who can actually be their friend or a big brother. So what we're actually dealing with is evil. We're not dealing with ignorance. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not the one who's mentally ill. We're dealing with evil people that are not remorseful about what their people have done to my father's people. They don't even care. Okay? They don't even care that I want to counter negative stereotypes about Arabic people. They don't even care. So we're not dealing with people that are interested in learning. We're not dealing with people that are interested in equality. We are dealing with evil spirits in control of a lot of people in this culture that are actually, in reality, interested in the status quo, who are actually lost in their own pseudoscience and world of fake news, that they then themselves cannot connect the dots as to what's going on, how we're connected into something else. So at the end of the day, they are not free of that inner devil or inner shaitan or the waswas, the Arabic term for mind control. Okay? They are not free of the targeting program. Okay? Their thoughts in many cases are not their own. And it isn't actually until people in the modern day and age get away from technology for long, long periods of time, go out in nature, meditate and heal, in combination with being exposed to people that physically and sound different, physically look different, sound different, think different, and speak different. I'm clearly speaking English, but the concepts that I'm talking about are way above the understanding of a lot of people. So what do? The modern people of 2026 and the people that came before me? They forced me into homelessness. They forced me through isolation to leave town because I can't find a job, or I can't this, or I can't that, or I can't find a place to park. They have no place for me in the modern world. So we are not dealing with love and light people. We are not dealing with people that believe in unconditional love. Okay? We are dealing with people that have made money their God. Okay? Because what I am as a spirit is not good enough for the modern American spiritual communities, because I don't have the right money for them to even talk to me, right? So we're not dealing with people that are understanding the workings of the sun as they take pictures of themselves on their website, as they show themselves meditating under the sun. They are frauds in that sense. They're against people that know something about the sun, but they will still brand themselves as people that know something about the sun through these photographs, through these people that are meditating on the beach, the trio, the 5, 6 white women, as you meditate in a circle and act like you're superior, but you're not superior, okay? Because you're certainly not calling out the evil that your boys are doing to the third world, and you're not one of you, not even my mother, not even anybody on my white side of the family. They're not extending their hand to me in friendship at all. So this is bullshit. This is a lie. And it's that blind worship of the white woman, which comes from lust, that's going to lead to many of them having a bounty on their head when America collapses and we go into human trafficking. That fake love and light, that posturing like I'm so golden, I'm so wonderful, I'm so loving, I haven't seen any understanding from the white women in this Nazi culture that somebody like me of the heritage that their boys are killing, that their politicians are killing, right? There's no acknowledgement from modern white women that I have value. So it is evil, and it isn't going away. It's only increasing. So it's time that people woke up. It's time that people harnessed the power of the sun in conjunction with living a disciplined lifestyle where you don't do certain things while doing a lot more of other things. Reading, writing, being involved in public speaking, musing about the future, prophetic mutterings, becoming a part of one's lifestyle, so on and so forth. And so really, in the end, is it AI? Or is it the unconscious nature of humanity that has allowed so many spiritual teachers, healers, and researchers to fall through the cracks and be punished by the state? I want to thank you for listening.